Have you ever been broke before?
Broke is another understatement. You know, there's a low point. Under the low point, I was there. I'm telling you.
Today I'm asking millionaires how they got rich. And none of them said what everyone on the internet keep telling you. So I walked up to the first millionaire on my list and I asked him this. Have you ever been broke before?
Broke? I've been broke, oh.
I had to ask him, what was his turning point?
Turning point is just God, oh. And what helped me is my tithe payment of my tithe. That was payment of tithe. That was changed my life for better, oh. Through tithe paying. And I've decided to pay tithe forever.
This next question, I asked it because I know somebody watching this right now needs the answer.
Like everything, you still need a God factor, whatever you are doing. After the God factor, you need to work a little bit harder than how you have been working before.
So I asked him, what would he say to the version of himself that hasn't figured it out yet?
They should know God early. They should know God early. They should know God early. That's what I will advise them.
You heard what the man said. God made him rich through paying his tithe. But he said something really important. He said he's decided to pay his tithes until the day he dies. That right there is dedication, and most people are not dedicated. So I moved to the next millionaire on my list to find out how he got rich. And I asked him if he's ever been broke before. And this was his response.
Sure.
So what was your turning point?
I think marriage.
For real?
Yeah.
Honestly, I was flabbergasted. I didn't see this coming.
You know, before getting married, I was jobless. No job, not even a single job. But since I got married, like a week after my marriage, I got a job. Then when I gave birth to my first boy, I got a job that doubled the salary of what I was earning before. And I was still keeping the former job. So I got 2 jobs like that. Since then, I've not had a better yesterday.
With the level where you are now and where you started from, who is an average person in your opinion? I asked him that question because most people use that term as a reason to remain in the same position as they were 5 years ago or even more. So how can they break out?
I don't think anybody's average. You can be average by your mindset, depending on the kind of mindset you have. So if you need to change something about your life, as human being, you should be able to do it because God has given us brain. And for you to sit down in one place and say, okay, I'm this, I'm that. Even if it were to be like that, people like Dangote won't be working by now. So there's nothing like average. It depends on your mindset, your mentality, and what is pushing you. So if you feel this place is not comfortable for me, then you have to go out there every day, also make things work, and before you know it, you will be a better version of yourself. You might not be there, but you'll be a better version of yourself.
So lastly, sir, if you could turn the hands of time and advise your 20-year-old self and give him one advice, what would that be?
I think I would have started videography earlier. You know, I went to school. Of course, school taught me a lot. School taught me how to be street smart, how to be, if you're able to learn something on YouTube now, for example, going to school, university lessons and all of that is able to help me to comprehend things faster, of course. But then if it were to be that I want to be professionally certified, looking for courses and all of that, I should have started videography lessons earlier. So that's...
Thank you so much for your time, sir. I truly appreciate, sir. He started late and he still made it. Imagine if you start right now, but we are not done yet. We had one more person to interview. Have you ever been broke before?
Yes, I have.
At this point, everybody is saying yes. So clearly, being broke is part of the process. But what I really want to find out is, how the hell did they all break out?
My turning point was when I was done with service and I got the opportunity from a mentor and a friend to work with him. During that period of working with him, I think of it more like an internship, right? It wasn't necessarily an internship, but I was able to work with professionals and that opened some doors for me. So that was the turning point.
And I asked him a question I was genuinely curious about. Who's an average person in your opinion?
An average person is dependent on the mindset. So it's about the way someone thinks compared to like what they actually have. Before I met with my mentor and a friend, right, I wouldn't say there was much difference in the way I think then compared to now, right? People just get to see the results better
and not the process.
Yeah. So I think like an average person is mostly determined from their mindsets, the way they treat or perceive themselves, the way they value their own self, right, and the way they see themselves in different environments.
So now, how can that average person watching this break out?
So the very first thing is to change your opinion about life generally. First thing you need to admit to yourself is you can break through. If you don't believe that, like, you won't, even when the opportunities come around, you identify opportunities when you have a heart for it. So the most important thing is to change your mindset, to change your perspective about life generally, and have that mindset of I want to succeed, I must succeed. In my opinion, the most important starting point, once the mind is there, the next step would be planning, then working at it. Because if you start working, you realize that there is a difference between working hard and working smart. There's a really big difference. The smarts behind the hard work is when there's a plan involved, right? So the first step would be changing your mindset, having a plan, then working towards that plan.
So lastly, sir, if you could turn the hands of time and give your 20-year-old self one piece of advice, what would that be?
The advice would have been focus. Maintain your focus. Then, like, this is me thinking of my own 20-year-old me. I had a lot of distractions, thinking of ladies, thinking of school. There was just one thing to focus on. That was in front of me, knowing what I want to become, knowing what I want to achieve. Once you have established that focus, like, focus on it, like, give your whole heart to it, give yourself to it, and that will really just refine the entire process.
You have an amazing advice, sir.
Honestly, that interview was fire. I personally needed it, and the next person we had the privilege to talk to almost rejected us, but we managed to get some game for you all.
Who am I here with today, sir?
Silas Godwin.
All right, sir. So very quickly, have you ever been broke before?
Broke is another understatement. Very, very broke.
And so I asked him how he broke out of the brokey cycle.
God, and let's just say grace. God's mercy, because I can't even explain how God did it. I was at the very, there's a low point. Under the low point, I was there. I'm telling you, if you see where I'm coming from, I send you these videos, you will not believe somebody lived in that place. But God brought me out, yes.
Somebody who is average now, how will they break out into this world?
Consistency, discipline, be focused, and when you have the fear of God, you understand. So you must be disciplined, you must be consistent, and you must be focused.
If you could turn the hands of time and advise your 20-year-old self, give him one advice, what would that be, sir?
Number one, trust God. Oh God, tightly. Let God be the first, the second, the last, and your final option. No any other option. God is your only option. And like I said, you have to be hardworking, have focus, have vision where you want to be, and work continuously with it. Look for mentors. Look for people's feathers that you can fly on, you can rely, you can flow. Yes.
Thank you so much, sir. You have an amazing advice. Bro, I have to be very honest with every one of you. This interview was something I needed personally for myself. Every one of them had one thing in common. They all made mention of the importance of having a mentor. And honestly, having a mentor will save you from a lot of failures. Now guys, if you'd like to see videos like this, comment the word interview and hit the subscribe button if you haven't. See you next week.